Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's UPSC Toppers Answer Copy Analysis, we are going to discuss UPSC 2017 Topper All India Rank 1 Anudeep Durishetty's Ethics Case Study Answer Writing Technique and Approach in today's video. So we'll try to understand how to write a case study based answer in case of GS4 examination to fetch maximum marks in the examination based upon the answer writing technique of Anudeep Durishetty. So let's go into the question which has been asked here, friends. Before going into the ethics question which has been asked here, that is in the section B component of the GS4 component, that is GS4 component ethics, where case studies will be asked. And whenever we read a case study based question, I would suggest you to allot a minimum of 3 to 5 minutes to try to understand the question in a clear manner. Because only then we can try to approach the answer for this case study in a better manner, friends. Additionally, whenever we write a case study based answers in the UPSC mains examination, we can allot a maximum of 15 minutes, and in worst case we can allot a maximum of 20 minutes, not in any case beyond it. Because if you allot beyond this particular time limit, then we will not be in a situation to complete all the case studies as well as ethics theoretical component. So as I say, in ethics the time management is very crucial component. So let's go into the question, friends, which has been asked here. So let's try to understand the question and try to underline the keywords, because there is no need for us to come again and again to the question to understand whatever is said. So what I would say is, whenever we read ethics based question, like what Anudeep Durishetty IAS topper has done here is that he has underlined the keywords. In the same manner, we will also try to underline the keywords or try to present the question in a different manner so that we can understand it very easily in a faster manner. So let's go into the question, friends. Critical tiger habitats, also known as core areas of tiger reserves, they are identified under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972 based upon scientific evidence that such areas are to be required to be kept as inviolate, which means no human settlement, and for the usage of tiger conservation. So basically, what they are talking about here is that, friends, there are areas which are called as critical tiger habitats. So these areas should be allocated inside the that is forest areas, especially for tiger conservation. And in these areas, we should not allow any human, that is no human settlement or any usage. So this is what they have mentioned in the first component of this question. And critical wildlife habitats, on the other hand, they are defined only in the Forest Rights Act. Critical wildlife habitats are meant to be areas of national parks and wildlife sanctuaries that are kept to be that also should be kept as inviolate for the purpose of wildlife conservation. So basically, there are two things they are talking about, friends. One is critical tiger habitats, another is critical wildlife habitat. And the basic difference is, in critical wildlife habitat, all animals apart from tiger also will be conserved here. And one more thing what they are talking about is, it mandatorily requires settlement of forest rights. That is the basic difference between critical tiger habitat and wildlife habitat. Is here we need to allot the tribals their basic forest rights, such as settlement and usage, and that should be done based upon the consent of Gram Sabha and stakeholders. So this is what the first paragraph they are talking about, friends. Let's now move to the second component. You are the SDO who granted the forest rights to the, especially for fishing inside the tiger reserve, and within a few days, the National Tiger Conservation Authority, that is a part of government of India, they have ordered against the recognition of forest rights, which has been done by this SDO. So SDO has allowed for fishing, but this SDA has cancelled the order. And what the forest dwellers as well as FRT related matters are actually under the domain of Ministry of Tribal Affairs. So basically, that comes under the regulatory issue which they are talking about. The actual power should be under Ministry of Tribal Affairs, but here National Tiger Conservation Authority has declared an order cancelling the order of SDO. So that's what they are talking about in the second paragraph, friends. Let's now move to the third component. There are concerns among advocates of wildlife conservation is that the recognition of forest rights will negatively impact tiger conservation in critical tiger habitat. So basically, allowing these tribals for going for fishing will affect tiger conservation. That is what tiger conservationists are talking about. On the other hand, tribal activists demand that National Tiger Conservation Order has no legal or scientific basis, because the actual power should rest with tribal affairs. So that's what they have been telling, friends. In the above case, what are the options available to you? That is, as an officer of SDO, what options we will exercise and what will be our course of action in that. What are the options we have and what we will choose. That is what they are asking in the second component. And in your opinion, should human rights take precedence over animal rights? Justify the morality of your position. So basically, it is a 25 marker question, friends, and they have asked us to answer in 500 words. So maximum of 5 to 6 pages usually will be given for ethics case study answer in the UPSC mains examination. And even we should also try to use the maximum space which has been given in the UPSC mains examination to address the case study. And we can use various innovative techniques like schematic diagrams, flowcharts, and other usage of ethics codes, moral thinkers, and personal life experiences to explain our answer in a better manner. So let's now try to look at this particular answer, how this UPSC topper Anudeep Durishetty has answered the three major components of the question which has been asked here, friends. If you look at this particular topper, he has first talked about, he has brought in a component called as stakeholder in case of ethics case studies. Followed by that, if you look at it, he has broke the answer, especially the components, into a component where he has talked about the options which he will generate. Up to four options he has generated here. Additionally, in the B component, he has talked about the course of action, which is directly asked in the question. Then he moved to the C component. So, and then finally, followed by that, he has written a conclusion. So, overall, friends, if you look at this particular answer writing technique, he has followed a paragraph based format. So, in case of case studies based component, we can follow a paragraph based approach in our answer writing technique. And not only that, even while looking at the answer, we should underline the keywords which we are mentioning in our answers, especially any quotes, moral thinkers, or values which we are mentioning in our answers, that needs to be highlighted to the examiner so that it will carry as an eye-catching moment to fetch maximum marks in the examination. So let's now look at the stakeholders which this UPSC topper Anudeep Durishetty has brought in here, friends. So he has brought in a very attractive schematic diagram. Easily will be fetching one component for this stakeholder component. That is, he has talked about SDO, then local tribals, National Tiger Conservation Authority, then conservation advocates, then Minister of Tribal Affairs. So overall, he has brought in all the stakeholders who are relevant in this particular case study. What I would say is, friends, whenever you write a case study based answer, if you are bringing in stakeholder, it will help you more than the examiner. Reason being that when you are giving your course of action, while writing the course of action, we need to solve all the stakeholders whom we are writing or whom the particular case study is talking about. So that is one thing which will attract or enable us to get maximum marks in examination. Okay, friends, now let's go and look into the first major component, that is a component, where what are the four options which will be available. So as we have read the question very clearly, the question is talking about two components, that is a critical tiger habitat, second is the critical wildlife habitats. And what is the problem here is, in case of critical tiger habitats, this SDO has given fishing rights, but actually it has been cancelled by the National Tiger Conservation Authority, who don't have power. Actually it rests to the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. So now, being an SDO of that particular case, so what will you do and what will be the option you will exercise here? So if you look at this particular topper, friends, he has brought in here four options. So I would say, even in the UPSC real examination, when you are writing, it would be always advisable, whenever you are generating options in the examination, it is advisable to generate minimum 3 to 4 options, because if you write four options, this a particular UPSC topper Anudeep Durishetty will be getting 1 mark for each of the option which he has written. So that is something which UPSC examiner will give very status quo purpose. And if you look at the answer which he has written, even he has underlined the keywords. And if you look at the options which he has generated, the one of the option is he will ignore the order, and another one is he will follow the order. If you look at the other two options, he will write to the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, so indicating their anomaly and ask their opinion. Another one is writing to seniors, asking their opinion and waiting for their suggestions and accordingly taking a decision. So overall, if you look at here, he has talked about even all the options, even though this ignoring the order of NTA is totally not a way to go, but he has included that also in one of the options which you need to talk about. So this is also something which we need to do in the real examination, friends. Let's now move to the second component, that is course of the action. I would say this is one of the core part of the answer which you are going to write in the real case study, because whatever you are writing apart from your course of action really will not attract the examiner. What is going to attract him very clearly is that what is your course of action and based upon what values you are going to take a particular decision. So that is what will make us to stand unique in the real examination, friends. And not only that, whenever we are writing a course of action, it is well known that we always will be standing with honesty and against corruption and integrity, to protecting the integrity, sovereignty, unity of the nation. So you can bring in all those values, but what is very very important is how will you incorporate those values in real administration. That is what something which we need to talk about very clearly. So how you will incorporate that, so you need to talk about the practical some possibilities, rather than saying that I will write a letter to the Minister of Tribal Affairs and try to change the decision, or I will talk to the tribal people and I will convince them. Rather than that, you can say that I will try to understand the emotion of the tribal people, then use my knowledge or emotion or my civil service knowledge, so that I will address the sympathy and empathy of them in a better manner. So if you say in that manner, it will enable the examiner to award you more marks, friends. And even if you look at this UPSC topper Anudeep Durishetty, while addressing the course of action here, he talked about the particular course of action which he will be taking is the first and fourth option. That is, one is writing to the senior, another is writing to the Minister of Tribal Affairs. So in both the cases, while taking this decision, if you see, friends, he is also saying that he will not take the discretion, like act in his own description, but he will follow the law, because he needs to follow whatever order which has been given by NTA. So, or at least he should address their concerns. If you look at this topper, friends, he is saying that he will address the concern by writing a letter to tribal affairs as well as to his seniors about his practical difficulties, what he will face because of implementing this NTA. So till then, he will put it on hold. Meanwhile, he will also talk to all the tribal people, conservation activists, and he will use his emotional intelligence. This is what I have been talking about, friends. This is what is a crucial part in your course of the action which you are writing, because what stand you are going to take, which is very well known to the examiner, but how will you take that stand, and what values you are standing, and what is your own personal life experiences, or leaders or IAS IPS role models, that values which has inspired you to take that decision. That is what you need to like tell it in a clear manner to the UPSC evaluator, so that he will award you more marks in the examination, friends. Even if you look at here, he has underlined the keywords very clearly. Even he will also saying that he will address the tribal, that is the people's problem also. In case the Minister of Tribal Affairs is not able to sort out, he will try to consider them in the long term, giving them some economic opportunities like catering retail to tribal peoples, so that will improve their livelihood, and it will also balance tiger conservation as well as the tribal people's livelihood opportunity. So overall, if you look at this course of action, he has done it in a very superb manner, and here also you'll be getting easily the 4 marks. And if you move to the final component, friends, that is, what in your opinion should human rights should take precedence over animal rights. So they are talking about whether we will protect only the interest of tribal people and not the animals, or will we stand with the values of animals. That is what they are asking, our own opinion or stand, and what is the value we will follow. So here also, if you see, friends, this topper has underlined the principle of morality in a clear manner, where he is clearly talking about humans are no different from animals, and humans are also an animal species which we have evolved. So there should be some equality in which how we treat both these humans and animals. So he has talked about the animal rights should be kept equal on with that is the human rights. So overall, he has talked about his principle of morality also in a clear manner, and he has also addressed his stand in a clear manner, friends. So he'll be easily fetching for the third component another 4 marks. So overall, in this case studies, friends, if you look at it, this particular topper will be getting, that is 1 plus 4, that is each component 4 marks, and for the stakeholder 1. So overall, for 25 marker, we will be easily getting that is 13 marks, which is more than half of the marks. So I would say in UPSC ethics examination, the case study is one of the easiest way where we can fetch maximum of our marks in the ethics, friends. And even if you look at Anudeep Durishetty, even though he has got 95 marks in his ethics case study, that is ethics paper, he would have easily fetched more marks in his case study component rather than the theory component. So some of the key takeaways from today's video which we need to incorporate in our ethics answer writing technique, that is case study answer writing technique, is whenever we write a case study, in the introduction component we can talk about the subject matter, That is, here we can talk about the subject matter of the regulatory issues which this particular case study is talking about, or we can also talk about what are the values dilemmas. So we can bring in as a subject matter. Followed by that, the stakeholders can be brought in a schematic diagram based approach. Additionally, friends, if the question they are talking about to ask us to write about ethical dilemmas or issues, we can bring it as a separate heading. Otherwise, we can directly go to the options. Here, usually I will advise you to write minimum 3 to 4 options so that we can fetch better marks in the examination. And whenever we write the course of action, what is very important is what stand you are going to take and how are you going to implement the decision. So while implementing the decision, what is very important is what are some of the moral thinkers, important administrators, IAS, IPS officers, and other role models, values, and even the important studies from Ramayana, Mahabharata. If you can bring in your answer to justify your stand, it will easily add more value to your answer to fetch maximum marks, friends. And followed by a conclusion where you can try to conclude the case study in a 2 to 3 manner, 2 to 3 lines, so that it will enable you to fetch maximum marks in the UPSC mains examination, friends. Additionally, we wanted to talk about the new upcoming batch, that is a mentorship batch, which we are going to do for the upcoming 2025 UPSC preparation. And this program is for 7 month duration, available only online, and it is an integrated batch of both prelims and mains examination, where sectional, subject-wise, and full-length test, as well as UPSC previous year questions test, will be incorporated in the test. So to enable the students to practice on answer writing as well as more MCQ solving. Additionally, the students who are joining this program, they will be given value addition videos to improve answer writing, and CSAT also will be covered as part of this mentorship program over a duration of 7 months. So those who are interested in this program, in the description box we have given the link for this program. You can register in this form and you can join this program, friends. So I hope today's video was very much useful to you. We'll again meet in a new video, friends. Thanks for watching.